Hello everyone. Welcome to Friday. Lawn care just finished, I think. I think the neighbors were doing lawn care. It was loud. We're working on this piece today. About smacked myself in the face with that. I don't have as much water as I thought I did. Okay. You know, Slick Duke, Steven did change the air filters. They arrived yesterday because I had to order them, and he put them away because it was like a bulk pack, and then he changed the ones, so they are changed. However, the one we ended up putting, because there's 3 spots in the house that get them, the one that's in our bedroom, because there's one in there for some reason, whistles almost as loud as Whistly, so it's like Whistly Jr., but in the bedroom, like making noise all night. And it is quite loud. So now we deal with that. So that's real great. Chess says, oh no. Luckily, we do a white noise machine. And it all just kind of becomes one noise, so it's okay. It's probably too dense for what the vent needs, probably. I don't know. Costco doesn't offer many, and it's fine. I need to mostly just filter the pollen and the remaining cat dander out of the house. We're working on this today, and this is my palette for the wood parts of this. Can I take a fin or two? Maybe. I don't know, I'd have to look at one and see. What is this white dot? I don't like this. There's a tiny white dot on the painting. Just like a tiny speck. Let's change that. There, it's gone. Magic. I think you guys can see some of the white dots like up here. Like they're tiny. They're like the stars that I do for night skies. So when I do those, they get everywhere. There was one on this painting, which is impossible because I haven't done that. It must have just been like from this, like a tiny drop of paint landed down there. White dot of frustration. Definitely. That's what that was. So we're working on the wood texture for this today. And I have this lovely little flat brush. And all the brown colors. So I did like this part, like from this bar up. So I have to do this bar and then to the stone base. And then I have the stone base. And that is my goal for today, is to get this stuff in this trapezoid shape done. And the part I'm nervous about is the wisteria texture of the stone. Could have left it in for the Earthbound reference. It did kind of look like a white sesame seed. There's also I know of one misplaced pixel in Ness's house that's always bothered me. There's probably more in the game, but that's the one I notice all the time. That's not intentional, unlike the white sesame seed. We have an 11-month resub from Luna's Mama 23. Good morning. Thank you for the resub. Rainy, miserable weather here today, Moose says. I'm sorry. We had a nice little storm last night in Raleigh. So the color I had originally blocked in for the wood is quite red. Like it's very warm for what I want. So I'm going to first tone it down using the grayer brown that I have and mixed up, and then we'll start to fill in all of this and add the texture. I know we talked last week about this open gap and how when I put something here, it starts to turn on me, and I don't like that. So I have to put it here so it doesn't, but it's too far right. So I'm still thinking about putting some sort of like block in the open gap so it doesn't fall through. Especially when I'm doing smaller paintings. This is an 11-14, like when I'm doing the 8x10s. Okay, we have Titan Buff for our highlight. We have a little bit of Mars Black, and then we have our base brown color. So, oh, I need the reference image. Come here, iPad. Oh, there's buttons. There's rivets on this. Okay. Glad I looked at this. Oh, that's not centered at all. Let's do this the right way. So I'm making an X from the corners of where it's going to be. And that will tell me the center of the button. Nope, this one. Too small. Perfect. Now I just need to match it over here. A little too small. Perfect. We have a 25-month resub from Furious Kitty. Good morning. With the Dragon Dance emote. Now I can paint this. Now, what I probably should have done, that I'm thinking right this second, is I probably should have painted the bar first, and then done the rivets. But I didn't. We're also going to swatch this, because I'm running low on this color. So this is the wood color. We have a 26-month resub at tier 2 from Radio Dread. Good morning, Radio Dread. There has been no Mary Had a Little Lamb yet. I have unchecked it long ago for you. 25-month resub from Jet Prower and 9 months from Shizue 1003. Thank you all. Good morning. Shizue says, can you make your most recent painting a blanket on Redbubble? Seems like a good blanket print. The Blue Dawn one? Or Daybreak? That one? I need the same liquid. Is it not? Can a mod, like, message me and tell me to do that so when I'm done I can go look at that? Or post it in mod? To make Blue Daybreak a blanket. Just, like, remind me. Mods. One of you, all of you, whatever, post in mod chat and be like, Mal, check this. And as soon as I'm done painting today, I will go look at that. Because it may involve pulling the raw file and making that if I didn't do it already. Because I want one. I will check, Shizue. Maybe not all of us. No, I kind of think all of you should, because I think that would be funny later. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to make more of this brown paint. Chess, is this not it? Is that it? Blanket different from throw. So there's like comforter and there's blanket. There's also like pet blanket that they have. Like it's a duvet kind of thing. Jade says I have full on comforter. Yeah, there's like, maybe there's like 4 types of blankets. Alright, that is blocked in like base layer. So now we're gonna do probably highlights first. So I need to look at this and see. Let's unplug this because I got a new charging cable, so it should be charged. I just need to remember to plug it in when I'm done today. So there's a tiny little lip along the top of this bar that you can see. And that kind of fades out because it gets put into the shadow a little bit more. Mr. Deathkills, thank you for that. I've actually was wondering, and then I was like, oh, right before like the countdown's done, I'll look up that answer. That was game 2 in the series. So it's 1-1 Canes Capitals, because we won on Tuesday night. So next game's tomorrow night. When I went and like pulled my hair back for stream, I saw my hoodie and I was like, ah, how did we do last night? I don't know. I should look that up. And then I probably forgot. The game on Tuesday was very exciting. I was watching it with some bike people I know who are very into it, and it was great because they were explaining things to me I didn't understand. Oilers won last night. I feel like the Canes have made like the last 5 years of playoffs. I think it's time we win the Stanley Cup. I think we deserve it. It's kind of wild how just a few lines really make like the piece start to work right there. That one was too bright. Oops. Let's go back over here. Tone that down a little bit, because whoops, too bright. All right, so that's all the highlights. Noah would laugh if the Flyers won Stanley Cup. We still talk about the Super Bowl. So now we're going to add the shadows on this board. Where did I, there. With some of these swatches that are on the palette, I kind of forget like where the wet paint is because it's the same colors I've been using. And then I'm like, wait, where's the one that's active and open? Okay, I'm happy with that. So what I need to do next is there's a little bit of shadow around this button on each side. There's also a little bit of highlight too, so. Oh. Can't mix that, that will turn gray. We don't have gray right here. Just brown. A little bit of highlight there. Okay. So we're going to switch to a round brush for the button, the rivet, because this flat is not great for that purpose. The question is do I have a good one out for that? No. Let's find a new one. So I'm painting the full thing black again so I can see it. That one's larger. But I think it's closer to the right size, so we need to make the other one bigger. That's better. Now the center of it has a little bit of lighter color to it. And then there's a highlight on it as well. That looks ridiculous right now. Speaking of Noah, Noah resubbed at 25 months. Good morning, Noah. We were talking about hockey, and Mr. Deathkills had said that if the Flyers won the Stanley Cup, then you could also throw that in my face. I mean, I could, but not gonna lie, I don't follow hockey. I know you don't. Alright, so highlight of these rivets. That looks pretty good. Okay. If we did go to the Stanley Cup, though, I'm the biggest hockey fan. I don't like how this one looks. This, okay. Now they're both not looking great. Better? Why don't I like this one? That one's up too high. But like they're handmade and hand done, so you can see that. I moved that one down. And I need to shade around it, I think. Okay, I can finally leave them alone. I'll probably touch them more later. But for now, they can be left alone. Also, I'm done with this brush. I should move back to my flat. This water should probably come closer. I'm reaching way too far. That's better. Ergonomically, at least. We have a 26-month resub from Rowlet Hoot. Good morning. Using a green paintbrush for the green painting. So there's kind of like this line here. That's better. Of the shadow of this on this other part. I don't know why the highlight on this wood here got peacher, even though I'm using the same color. I think I need to fix that. It should be more gray. So next is like this underneath piece. And it is very dark. So we're going to just fill that in. After this piece of the puzzle, I'm going to need to mix up more of this brown. I'm totally running out. And that is a big problem. Because I still have this piece, and then like all of these little weird smaller pieces. Alright, I'm going to try and get this last vertical piece while I have the same color, so at least it's consistent across the horizontal line. So I have to do this last little leg. Hi Renee. This is What Is It With Me and Naps. For a long time I was having that same problem. And then, I don't know, in the last year my body just decided that it was going to function totally different than it ever used to my entire life. Just decided everything was different. Mr. Deathkill says, Renee, you'll be happy to know they changed the air filters. Renee, I was told specifically to tell you that he did the air filters. He's like, make sure you tell Renee during stream tomorrow. Alright, I got the whole horizontal line across. Now it is time to mix up more of this brown paint, because I'm out of too much of it to continue. Oh no, I'm looking at these rivets and I don't like them. Can't touch them anymore. We'll look at it later. We're gonna mix up brown paint and finish the other stuff first. Now I need to remember how I made this. The good news, let's talk about that. Pull off all this. So the good news, here's the palette I'm using for the browns, is I have my colors across the top. There's a little bit of water on that. So these are the colors I've been using. So I have my highlight and my shadow. This is my main color, and I mixed it from some combination of these four, which is Titan Buff, I want to say Burnt Umber, yeah, Sap Green, and then Mars. So I can put more of that on the palette and figure out the right ratio of those four to make it look like this. And then I've mixed up more of that color. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I don't need a ton because I just need to do like this row of stuff, the part that sits directly on the stone. I don't really need a ton of sap green. I still have some and it's still open. I have a bit of Mars too. Where's Titan? There's Titan. So I am doing all four. So the Titan Buff and Mars are going to kind of make it gray because Burnt Umber is too warm, and the green's going to push it slightly more green and away from that warm side as well. So I'm just putting a little bit of all of them together, and we're going to see what that makes. It's too warm. So opposite of red is green, so we're going to add more of the sap. This is why I wish I had an overhead cam so you could see what I'm doing, even though it's all dark colors, so it's harder to see. So I'm toning down the intensity, and then we're going to lighten it up with a lighter gray because that will also tone down the intensity. Even an excuse to buy a new camera. Listen, I want a new bike. That's the next purchase. Not far off, but we're still not quite there yet on color. One bike per camera. There's someone I know selling a pretty good bike with a lot of nice upgraded parts for a pretty good price. And then I also found a bike about 90 minutes west of here that does not have the fun upgraded parts, but it is blue. Does it have RGB? I wish it had RGB. So Raleigh does a thing once a month, and I know other cities do it because it's kind of a national thing called Critical Mass. And the point is to get people on bikes out onto the city streets to show city leaders that these are the people that, you know, would use things like bike lanes or public transit that has bike stuff on it. Bike versus camera. Anyway, that always happens on a Friday, and we're streaming Friday, so I have not been able to go, which is fine. I hear it's a little chaos. I'm thinking this is still too warm. It's really hard to see because wet, it looks the same. I think it's still too saturated. Add more green. that helped. I really just wish I had more of this color. That would solve a lot of my problems. More green helped a lot. I think we need to go slightly more gray. We'll help you decide not to worry. 91% bike. No, I will be getting a new bike. I have loved my bike, and my bike has good things about it that I do like. It's just, it's not really all-purpose. It's kind of single-purpose in some ways. So I'm looking to get something that I can use for slightly more rides. I also need to adjust my front derailleur on my current bike because the ride I took on Tuesday, it kept jumping. Oh, now it's too cold. That was, too far. Too far in the wrong direction. Oh, that might have been perfect. Okay. So the thing that needs to happen is I need to go test drive bikes because I'm riding a 52. I don't know if a 52 is right because I've never tried anything else. I kind of get the feeling that I'd like a 54 better, which is the size of the bike. And on Tuesday, I'm going to try another bike that's a 54 and we'll see how I feel about it. And I just need to go to the store and try some bikes. Because one of the bikes that I know is selling, someone I know personally, is a 54. And that's the one I'm going to try on Tuesday. But like I said, there's one an hour, 90 minutes west of Raleigh that's a 52. But it's a different geometry than my bike because gravel bikes ride different than road bikes, so I don't really know. You just kind of have to keep trying things. Okay, it is time to do this last part. We're just gonna have to do this in pieces. And accidentally paint where I shouldn't have. Now it seems too warm. Oops. Missed that entirely. Stab the painting with paint right where it doesn't belong. Have I ever accidentally ingested paint water? No. I try to keep something with a cap on it, so I have to like physically do that to drink water. And if I have coffee up here, I try to keep it very separate in a very specific spot away from that, but I have never had that problem. I tend to also have things that stick up out of the water, like this is my palette knife. That helps. Hi, morning.
Hi. Just checking on your painting.
That's what I'm doing.
It's looking good.
Thank you.
The wood grain's good.
Yeah, I'm working on this part down here.
Yeah.
And then all of the wood is gone. Done.
Yeah.
And then I just have the stone, and then I have all of the plants that sit on the cap.
Yeah. The thing that was impressing me was that you painted like, what are they called? Knots. The knots in the wood.
The rivets here?
No, not the rivets.
Oh, like this. Yeah, knot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this rivet I think is too big. I like this one. So I'm gonna maybe have to touch that one later, but I want to finish all of this.
Cool. Looks good. Is there anything you want?
No, I had yogurt and coffee, so I'm good.
Okay. I finished the first pass of the New York vlog
Oh, good.
last night, so I'm gonna try and get through a second pass so I can have it like actually done.
Uh-huh.
Because I desperately need to move on with my life.
Uh-huh.
There's other things to do.
Uh-huh.
But first I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal.
What kind?
I don't know. I don't have any. I know that it's I don't know, a bit of a oxymoron or whatever. I don't have any healthy cereal right now.
Oh.
Cereal in general is not terribly healthy, but like the two I have is
Crunch berries.
and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
I usually have one sweet cereal and one better
Slightly
cereal.
better choice?
Yeah. But I had already picked up Crunch berries because they were on like deep sale at the grocery store.
Uh-huh.
When I went to Costco, I was like, I'll pick up a healthy one.
And then you picked up Captain Crunch.
Well, it was a good deal.
Okay.
It was a really good deal. I tend to buy things that are just like whatever's cheapest. So, I guess I'm gonna consume sugar for the next.
Well, the cake
2
is
weeks.
gone, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Good deal for wallet, bad deal for body. Correct. Yeah. The trick is you can have a bowl of sugary cereal. Just, eat something else good.
Eat something else good. Stephen George 2025.
So I'll do a bowl of cereal, but I'll also have like a protein bar or something. And then this weekend I'll probably make like a breakfast burrito for us if you're up.
That will have to be tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah, breakfast burrito does sound good. It's just gonna have to depend on what time he's getting up to do that tomorrow. Because tomorrow is supposed to be a very nice day, and I'm going on a bike ride. Trying to see exactly if this feels like it's matching, and I think it is, because it is the new brown color I mixed. Oh, my iPad went to sleep. Don't do that. I need to look at this reference image. There. Holiday medley. Just in time for May. Yeah, we're a little far off from Christmas in July yet. working around the whole thing. It's gonna take some time. I don't love the top lighter pieces I just did right here. I might feel better about it once I finish the rest of it. I'll work my way around this circle. I knew I just put my hand in paint. There we go. So like the edge of this piece gets a little bit of highlight, and the top of it. And I painted that crooked. Whoops. Ooh, 14-month resub from Soph G. Good morning. Lurking? That's totally fine. Get other stuff done with me while I'm working on my stuff. Now the grain of this piece is an end piece, so we get, I need a sharper brush. So it kind of curves because we have the circles on the tree. Putting shopping away. We just bought a ton of ground beef from Costco. We'll buy their like 6-pound ground beef. And then I have a vacuum sealer. So we will have to vacuum seal that in 1-pound increments for freezing. So when we do that, it's always a long time to put away groceries. We have 26 months from Dishnet, who says good morning. Good morning, Dishnet. This is not dark enough. Alright, I do not love what is happening here. Why don't I love it? It just doesn't feel right. There's something about it that feels off. I haven't figured out what that is. So I'm going to mix up a highlight again, but not quite as bright. And maybe try and do... Yeah, it just needed more grain lines. Yeah, that was the trick. We have 300 bits from Furious Kitty, who says, now that my workout is done, I can finally talk. Can't believe my vote was the only one for camera, thinking about getting new lenses. Thomas thinks I should get an indoor bike and, like, play games while I'm on a bike, which is kind of like something he was doing, but he's like, you should do that. There's, like, digital races and stuff you can do. It's not the same, though. It's a good alternative when the weather's bad. Yeah, there's a lot of people I know who do those. Right now, I'm just focused on wanting an outdoor bike because that's what I'm enjoying most. And I need it to suit the needs of what I'm doing. And right now, the one I have is not quite doing that. It's still super not the right color. It's still really warm, and I do not like it. Will I have to remix a fresh color? I'm just trying to add in other things. There's 4 colors I use to make this, so it's some ratio of these 4. And I just haven't stumbled on the exact one I need yet. And so like I've been trying to mix more green in it to tone down the warm, because it's quite red at its base. And I think I just keep adding like too much, like there's a sweet spot I'm not hitting. But I also used a little bit of gray, so it's like, well, what's the ratio of the color without gray? Where is it with the gray? And like this feels a little bit better, the one I just mixed up. It's still a little orangey. So the sun's hitting more on this side, so these ones are going to be lighter than these ones. But they still need detail, they can't just be a flat color. Okay, these just need detail. So I need to look at my photograph and start to bring that in here. So just a tiny bit more. I think the face here that I did the end grain is not quite right either. Dang it. That's the only piece that has end grain. You can't really see it on this one. So I did that, now it's time to work darker. Sometimes you pick too light of a color. Do I do light first and then shadow, or the other way around? Molecules asks. I tend to do a base color first, and then it depends on exactly where I'm working. If something is overwhelmingly dark, like this piece back here, where it's recessed in and underneath something, I'll do the dark first. And then build my way lighter. But if I'm doing like a brighter part, I'll start with the light. And that's something that's kind of acrylic specific. I feel like if I was doing watercolor, that's not how I would work. Because of how colors go in a different media. Well, with watercolor, you're working transparent layers over transparent layers. So you need it to, it's like working only in glazes. So you need to do like washes of things, which I can do with acrylic in some ways if I'm using the glazing liquid and can just work on top of things. But when I'm doing watercolor, like, it has to be that way. You do not get opaque colors with watercolor. This is not getting dark. I feel like I'm painting with almost pure black paint and it's not doing anything. Why? Okay, well, the reason then is that I need to do some highlights to contrast that. And that will definitely make it show up. all the wood is done. The only thing left on the actual lantern that's not the stone base is the rivets, because I still don't like the right rivet. It's too big and it's too high up compared to the left one. So my plan of action there is to paint over it entirely and then bring it back in, hopefully smaller. So we're just gonna do that and give that a few seconds. Maybe just like chat and have some water. And then we'll bring it back in. And then we can work on the stone. Stone and mine are a stone lantern. So the cap is stone, the base is stone, and then this part is wood. And I just watched a video on like lanterns in Japan, and like there's 5 parts to most of them and they represent different things, and I forgot already what that is. But the person who was talking about it, like this part of theirs was also stone, whereas on this one it's wood. While I'm waiting on that to dry, let's talk about the stone. I'm thinking that I'm going to, like for each piece, I'm going to block in kind of the medium gray first. It's going to be greenish. And then take one of my bad brushes, like this guy. I don't know if you can see that. It's just really, like all the bristles are like, it's like a little puffball on the end because I've used it for stuff like this and it's just gotten really beat up. So my plan is to like tap it into some dark colors and then tap it here to give that stone texture, and then we'll tap in the highlights, and then we'll just focus more of things like the highlights and like the areas where there are highlights. That is my thought. And then later when I need to, I can just like kind of erase on top of the wood where I've accidentally painted, or like around the sides by just using a damp paintbrush while it's still wet. And then fill it in that way. And then for parts like the wisteria, doing the same thing, but just tapping smaller and just trying to fill that space in with texture. And it's not going to give me nice crisp lines like I have up here, and that's okay because it's stone and it's hand carved, so it's not going to have those crisp lines. And if I really want to, I can take shading gray later and do things like kind of darken underneath some of these pieces if I need to darken that area to just push it back in space or bring it forward with white. That's my thought process on that. Rivet. So I'm looking at this one. That feels better than the one that used to be there. And the paint is wet, so all it's doing is just blurring together. So we're gonna leave it alone and then shade it around it. Those look good. I'm gonna take a photo for our art cue of the close-up of it. That works. All right. All right, that can go up and be played. Which just leaves us with stone. There. So you can see the rivets, you can see the texture. The base is still flat, and that's where the stone's going in. That's the tiny stuff I've been working on for the last almost 2 hours. Now here's the problem. It has been about 2 hours. I'm supposed to talk to someone for their birthday today. But I think I have a little bit of time to at least get the color I want and maybe start putting some of that in there. Or at least trying it. So I can't go late today, that's the problem. And this took longer than I thought. Mostly because I couldn't quite get the color I wanted for the wood, and I'm glad it's done. We will not make that mistake for stone. But birthday! I have a little bit of time. I don't have time to like do all the stone, which was my hope for today, so that next week I could do the plants. Did not get that far. I do not need this palette anymore. So, let's clean that off. And not spray the iPad. I did drop something. Where did it go? There it is. No bath for iPad. No. No bath for iPad. I've had this iPad a while. 2016? For the most part, I kind of just only use it to have images up for reference. So I don't feel like I really need a new one. I do wish the screen were brighter, because it's older. And I think it would be nice to be able to do, like, get the new Apple Pencil and do some digital art. But, like, also, I'm not going to. I would much rather, like, grab a fountain pen and draw. Or a pencil, or anything. "2018, Mr. Death Kills Us." Thank you. That is, a while ago. Seizure Monday was looking for old videos of mine to watch and said the goose video was a fun concept. Yeah, it's a pointillism piece, and it was fun. It's very mindless, because it's just basically... I don't want to use that marker. Let's use this one. It's just basically doing this, and then like your brush runs out of paint very quickly, so then you have to just... and then you go back. And you're like, okay, I need it to be darker. And then you would like mix up a darker color, and then you would go back in, and you would make it darker. It was very mindless. I listened to the soundtrack for Sunday in the Park with George multiple times working on that. I really liked that painting. My in-laws have it on their wall. Because some of you were very generous and got it for them. And then I go over there and I look at it and I'm like, ah, yeah, this was a lot to do. It's very fun. It's just very mindless. And there's some points where it's just like, it's like running a marathon and you're just like, I need to be done. I'm so done. Finishing the hat. Like that whole song, the Finishing the Hat song is very like, I'm painting while like life is going on. And it was just like, nope, gotta paint. Gotta put these dots on the canvas. Ooh. Alright, I'm mixing up a stone texture. And it's very yellow. Like, see how yellow it is? Easier, harder than this, or the same difficulty as palette knife. Palette knife was way easier. Because it was just like swatch, blob, huge blob. So I should stay in the same color family. So I should be using burnt umber for my shadow color. And toning it down and making it greener. And we're going to keep using Titan Buff as our highlight. What was my third color? Black. This is kind of the same colors as the wood part, but it's going to be more green and more Titan Buff to make it yellower. Alright, next painting I do is going to have a lot of Mars Black just so I can end this tube. This tube is really messed up. And sap green. Way more sap green than this wood had. A lot of paintbrushes out for once. Let's put some of the bigger ones away. Alright, a ton of green. Flip back to this. My watch is like, you could get some activity done today, maybe. That might be nice. So this is not going as yellow as I want. The Titan Buff, while yellowish in color, is not accomplishing that. Walk a few circles around the studio for 30 minutes to fill my exercise ring. Because, like, very green. Not quite yellow where I want it to be. So, primary yellow. I don't think I need much of this. And based on how I ran out of the wood color, I'm mixing a ton of this up so that doesn't happen again. Out of yellow. So I have my sap green and I keep just mixing up a mix of this color, which is brownish, like a yellow brown, and then adding it to the sap green and slowly making the progress and journey of making it the right color. And it fits good with the cap, because that's the same stone, but this will get covered so much more. I think it's slightly too green still. Let's keep toning that down. Chris Hilliam says, it took me an hour to shape my nails. I broke my right index fingernail pretty far down a few weeks ago, and I've been like slowly trying to get the others filed down to like a smaller shape that's closer. And they're finally starting to look similar enough in color. Not color, I'm mixing color. Shape and size. I'm thinking I might paint them this weekend. Maybe Monday. That's so green still. How do I feel about that against the photo? I think it's a little too green still. We have a subscription from Shrimplex TV. Welcome. Happy Friday morning. On my palette, not in harmony with the painting, this is not a pretty color. At all. Isn't it like 1 p.m.? It is surely 1 p.m., yes. Well, thank you. Welcome into a stream. Mixing colors seems like alchemy. Intellectually, I get it, but in practice, it seems like witchcraft. I mean, I know what I'm doing when I do it, and to me, it still sometimes seems like magic. Okay, I think this is going to be my base stone color. Nope, it's still green. Dang it. See, you don't want to push it too far too fast, or then you have to go back in the other direction, and it's easier to just do little bits at a time, even when it's frustrating. And it's getting there. It is drying out, though. I need some of this. Okay. We're gonna swatch this on paper. And then we're gonna do a little bit on the canvas to see if I'm happy with it. This over here is not it because that was on the back of the knife. The back of the knife is not fully mixed in. So what I did is I went from this sap green, the darker one here, into this color down here. Now, let's put a little bit on this with this brush. all the paint I just mixed up, I'm gonna seal really, really good. And then hope it's good next week. So this is my new color for the stone. We're going to move that aside. What do I want to do first? I should probably work my way down. Ooh, is that green? Is the shrine from anything special or just for funsies? This was a photo I took in Nara in Japan last April. So that's the base. Now, what I'm going to do is wonder where I put that paper towel. There it is. Get extra paint off my brush, take my highlight color, and then we just tap. And we accidentally tap on top of the wood grain we did because it's in the way. Perfect. And then we tap our way this way. And we get excited that it doesn't look terrible. And then we do the same but with a shadow color. And there may be a few more layers to this. It's not just 3. It really depends on how it's coming together. Like in some areas I might need to do, I'll do an example on the paper once I get this layer done. I just heard Steven say vagabond on the block. I know he's editing New York. What is the eraser thing I'm using? Good question. 1 second. My plan is to finish this little layer, and then I'll answer some questions, and I'll do this, what I'm doing right now, but bigger on paper so you can see. Okay, I like that. The eraser thing I'm using is a stiff bristled brush, this guy, which was actually a bit longer, like it was taller, and at some point it got bad, so I just trimmed it with scissors. And then what I do is, don't fall over. If I accidentally paint somewhere I don't want to do, with acrylic you can erase it if you are quick. So if I put some Titan Buff here, and then I accidentally go, oh no, I can take this with a little bit of water, if I'm quick, and just kind of erase it down and clean up the line a little bit. Does that make sense? It's just using a wet brush with some water to kind of scrub at the mistake and hope that it's wet enough that it'll pick up and remove itself. When was the last time I threw away a brush? Oh, I don't know. I normally don't, because I can use it for things like this, or like the stippling I'm doing to make the texture. This is wet. We'll just do it on top of this little wash thing. Okay, so what I'm doing, but small, is I need a flat. You will suffice. So if this is my stone texture, that didn't quite do what I wanted. That's a little transparent. If that's my stone texture, what I'm doing is I'm taking a bad brush like this. See, it's really like fuzzy. And then I'm taking the stone texture itself with a little bit of Titan Buff, which is what I'm using to lighten all my colors instead of titanium white on this painting. So I only have a little bit, and I'm doing a stippling. This is wet. Just to tap in some of that random stone texture. So you can see how it's lighter up here. And I can push that by using more Titan Buff or more layers, where I'm putting the texture that this brush is making closer together, or it's getting brighter by just having more Titan Buff. And if I really want, I can just do Titan Buff by itself, just to really make it pop. And I can do the same in reverse by going darker, by taking my stone color with some Mars Black, or because it's quite yellow-green, I could also use a red violet, which I'm not really doing in this painting because I'm trying to keep it harmonious and I'm not using any of that otherwise. So I'm not using a red violet, I'm using Mars Black. And I found that with acrylic, and when you're doing a stippling like texture like this, you want a dry brush. You don't want something that's wet. So I just washed that brush and it's wet. So now I need to do it with something else dry. So I'm going to do the same thing, but use black. Kind of out of the green, but in reverse, to make the stone texture that way. And I can keep doing this and going like darker and darker. So that's what I'm doing on the stone, but like it's tiny. I've only done like the top of this first tier. And that one gets more of like the Titan buff lighter colors because it's getting the light from the sun, the bright of the day. But the vertical piece that's going to be like supporting that piece up is going to get more of the darker colors because it's getting shadow. And then like the next one is lighter again, so that'll get lighter and then darker because there's stairs going up and down. And then the wisteria is going to be the same thing, where it's black right now is going to get more of that darker, and then where it's lighter right now is going to get more of the light. It's just tiny. That's the plan. So if I do the vertical piece next, which I think I might do. I got time. And then we'll wrap up. So I filled in a base layer. And then we will tap in the light and the dark colors. So there's a little bit of a highlight that comes down there. iPad, you need to be where I can see you. This is kind of like doing the pointillism of the goose painting because I can go back and forth. And if I feel like it needs to be darker, I just go back in and tap in some more darker colors. Okay, there's the first tier done. And we're just going to make sure that all of the green I mixed up for the stone is very well sealed. And I think it is. So next week we're going to finish the stone. But it's looking really good. Wash off all these brushes really good. Got palette knife too. So I bought shop towels. They're blue. And I bought them mostly for working on my bike because the washcloths I do have are getting full of like chain grease and gross. And I don't know how to wash them. I don't really want them in my washing machine where I wash my clothes and my sheets and towels and stuff. So I decided that I will keep the nice microfibers for drying my bike, but the shop towels for the greasy parts of the bike. And I brought a roll of them up here to try with like washing off my brushes and palette knives to see how I feel about that. But I have a brand new roll of paper towel up here otherwise. Because like I use my paper towels till they look like this, and I start to like fold them so like the inside's really full of paint too, because like once the big piece gets full of paint, I'll fold it in half and use the back. So I'm like, maybe shop towels would work up here really good too. So that's the button I want. Thank you to my Patreon sponsors. If you're interested in that, mods will have a link for you. Paint Tripper says use every last inch of it. Exactly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this. Oh, they're soft though. And we're gonna see how I feel about these next week, I guess. We'll use one. I don't need it now because I just used that. We'll see. It's gonna be good for bike though. Put iPad away. There. So next week we're gonna work on the second tier and then the detailed one with the wisteria on it. And then I really hope we finally get to work on some of the plants that sit on this piece, because that's what really made this stand out and made me take a photo of it. Was just like the ferns and the moss and the other stuff that hangs down. So I'm really excited for that, and it's been frustrating to me that it's like, I'm really happy with how this looks, but I really want to get to that part. But I can't do that part until this is done. But it's coming along. We're on the final last part before we can do that. Things that are coming up tonight on Steven's channel. We're going to continue playing Mario Odyssey. We are in Steam Gardens World. Kingdom. They're kingdoms in Odyssey. Storm says, trust the process. I know. I just like to complain about it sometimes. So we will be doing that tonight. We have a 9-month resub from Crisara, thank you. And 300 bits. Sorry, I wasn't expecting it to talk. 300 bits from Goldmage, who says, I'm so behind on these streams. I'll eventually watch the entire Nara Lantern show, though, probably while prepping my D&D campaign. I'll need a Starkos to keep my energy up. It restores 1 heart of your energy. I love the alert, too. It's a good one. Thanks for Chaz to putting it together. Putting the audio clip and everything. Monday night we're gonna work. No, I'm not. Monday, I don't know if there's gonna be a stream Monday night. I suppose we'll be talking about that in our meeting in 30 minutes. I don't know. You'll have to tune in and see if there's something happening Monday. I really don't know right now. There might be a stream, there might not be a stream. Otherwise, tune into breakfast stream Tuesday morning. No, you, LOL. And then next Friday morning we'll continue this. I look forward to that. So I hope everyone has a good Monday. I need to package up a painting so I can mail it. Gotta call the person whose birthday it was. And get ready for Morrow tonight. So I hope to see you all tonight. Radiant Dread says Monday? Mallory. Monday is, I don't know yet. We'll talk about it, and then I guess I'll say something tonight during Morrow. Alright. Have a good Friday. Hope to see you later tonight. And, oh, I said have a good Monday. You can have a good Monday, too. I hope you have a good Monday. I may not see you. So, have a good from now till Monday. How about that? You've been around Steven too much? Fossix, that's going on a long time now. Alright, everyone. See you tonight.